The Princeton Cannibal, a descent into madness. What happens when a seemingly normal life spirals into unimaginable horror? Today, we delve into the chilling case of Matthew Hertgen, a 31-year-old man accused of murdering and cannibalizing his own brother. This is a story of family, mental health, and a crime that defies comprehension. Give a like and subscribe. Leave a comment. On February 22nd, a quiet, upscale apartment in Princeton became the scene of a horrific crime. Matthew Hertgen is alleged to have brutally murdered his 26-year-old brother, Joseph Hertgen. The details that emerged are disturbing and paint a picture of unimaginable violence. Matthew allegedly used a knife and a golf club to end Joseph's life, but the horror didn't stop there. Authorities believe Matthew then removed and consumed Joseph's eye. As if that weren't enough, he is also accused of setting the family cat on fire. In the days leading up to the murder, Matthew's mental state appeared to be deteriorating. His brother, David Jr., noticed something was amiss. He became increasingly concerned about Matthew's well-being. David Jr. sent a text message to Joseph, warning him about Matthew's distress. He urged Joseph to reach out if Matthew needed support. This simple act of brotherly concern would soon be overshadowed by unimaginable tragedy. David Jr. even spent time with Matthew earlier that day. They went to the grocery store and visited David Jr.'s residence. It seemed like a normal day, masking the darkness that was brewing beneath the surface. Joseph responded positively to David Jr.'s text, seemingly unaware of the danger he was in. Tragically, the murder occurred shortly after Joseph's reply. The timing underscores the sudden and shocking nature of the crime. David Jr. even invited Matthew on a hike the next day, urging him to hang in there. These words, now haunting in retrospect, highlight the desperate hope for a positive turn that never came. The invitation was a final attempt to connect and offer support. Matthew himself called the police, reporting a dead body and a fire. When authorities arrived, they were met with a scene of unimaginable horror. The apartment was a bloody tableau of violence. Among the evidence discovered were a knife, a fork, and a plate near Joseph's body. These items led police to the horrifying conclusion that Matthew had indeed consumed Joseph's eye. The scene was meticulously gruesome. The presence of these items suggests a deliberate act, a calculated depravity that chills the blood. It paints a picture of a mind consumed by something truly dark. The investigation was immediately focused on Matthew. In the wake of the arrest, Matthew attempted suicide in jail a week later. This act underscores the profound mental distress he was experiencing. It raises questions about his state of mind at the time of the crime. Authorities have yet to reveal a motive for the murder. This lack of explanation only deepens the mystery surrounding the case. What drove Matthew to commit such a heinous act? During his court appearance, Hertgen only uttered "hello" and "thank you." His detached demeanor offered no insight into the events. The brevity of his statements added to the unsettling nature of the proceedings. Notably, Matthew's parents and brother, David Jr., were absent from the hearing. Their absence speaks volumes about the family's grief and shock. The emotional toll on them must be immense. Despite the family's wealth, Matthew is being represented by a public defender. This decision raises questions about the family's involvement in the case. It adds another layer of complexity to the narrative. His next hearing is scheduled for May 2nd. If convicted, he faces 30 years to life in prison. The severity of the potential sentence reflects the gravity of the crime. A grand jury will weigh the indictment charges, determining the full extent of the legal proceedings. The legal process will be long and arduous, seeking to uncover the truth behind this horrific act. The Hertgen family lived an affluent lifestyle. They previously resided in a $1.1 million home. Their current residence in the upscale Michelle Muse apartments, where units can cost up to $2 million, further underscores their privileged background. The brothers were standout athletes, excelling in their respective sports. Matthew was a former Wesleyan soccer player. This image of athletic prowess contrasts sharply with the horrific acts he is accused of committing. Their father, David Hertgen, is the president and CFO of a multi-million-dollar tech company. This detail highlights the family's success and stability. It makes the crime even more shocking and inexplicable. This case leaves us with many unanswered questions. What drove Matthew to commit such a brutal act against his own brother? Was it a sudden descent into madness, or were there warning signs that were missed? The lack of a clear motive is particularly troubling. It leaves a void in our understanding of the events. We are left to grapple with the incomprehensible. The suicide attempt further complicates the picture. Was it an act of remorse, or a desperate attempt to escape the consequences of his actions? The answer remains elusive. The absence of the family from the court hearing speaks volumes. What are they feeling? How are they coping with this unimaginable tragedy? Their silence is deafening. The case of Matthew Hertgen serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of the human mind. It highlights the importance of mental health awareness and early intervention. It underscores the devastating consequences when mental health issues are left unaddressed. It also raises questions about the pressures of privilege and the potential for darkness to lurk beneath the surface of even the most seemingly successful lives. This case is a chilling reminder that appearances can be deceiving. We must remember Joseph Hertgen, the victim of this senseless act of violence. His life was tragically cut short, leaving behind a family shattered by grief. His memory deserves to be honored. This case is a tragedy for everyone involved. It is a reminder of the darkness that can exist within us all. It is a call to action to prioritize mental health and to support those who are struggling. The story of Matthew Hertgen is a disturbing and complex one. It is a story of violence, mental illness, and the devastating consequences of unchecked darkness. While we may never fully understand what drove Matthew to commit such a heinous act, we can learn from this tragedy. We must prioritize mental health awareness and support. We must be vigilant in recognizing the signs of mental distress in ourselves and others. We must create a society where seeking help is encouraged, not stigmatized. This case serves as a stark reminder of the importance of early intervention. By addressing mental health issues proactively, we can potentially prevent future tragedies. We must invest in resources and programs that promote mental well-being. Let us remember Joseph Hertgen and honor his memory by working towards a future where such senseless acts of violence are prevented. Let us learn from this tragedy and strive to create a more compassionate and understanding world. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health issues, please reach out for help. Here are some resources. National Suicide Prevention. Lifeline 988. Crisis Text Line. Text HOME to 741741. The Trevor Project. 1-866-488-7386 for LGBTQ youth. Please share this video to raise awareness about mental health and the importance of seeking help. Subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analyses of true crime cases and discussions on important social issues. Leave a comment below with your thoughts on this case and what we can do to prevent similar tragedies in the future.